I'm not saying that watching TV is going to wreck your relationships, but I'm saying that it could have a pretty negative effect, and you need to sort of be aware that those effects are out there. So in terms of thinking about my research and kind of the motivation behind it, I think that when we look at our relationships and we try to make sense of why we think certain things about our partners, or what is it that makes us happy, or why are we committed, there are a lot of things that affect that. And one of the things that I think a lot of people, in just kind of common sense terms, would think is that maybe the media that I consume on a day-to-day basis affects that. And I think that there's a real kind of practical attraction to that idea, that if I watch a lot of shows like The Bachelor, for example, that show these couples in these exotic locations doing all these really exciting things, that maybe that's not the most healthy thing for me. And does that really impact me in the way I see my husband or my wife or my long-term partner, in terms of, I'm sitting here watching this and I look across the room and I see this person that's falling asleep on the couch with a bag of Cheetos, and I start to think, why don't I have what's on the screen instead of what's on the couch? In terms of what I found in looking at all of these things, the main thing that came out was that when you look at just pure TV viewing, it didn't really predict any of their perceptions of their relationships. But if you looked at their belief in TV, the extent to which people believed that TV portrayals were accurate tended to be associated with lower marital commitment, a perception of more attractive alternatives to their partner, and higher costs in their relationship. However, it was not associated with lower satisfaction or lower perceptions of rewards in relationships. From a scientific standpoint, I guess what I would hope to see would be people continue to try to kind of dig into sort of the nuances of this. What is the specific content on TV telling us? How are people interacting with it? Beyond just belief, what are they using it for? Do they see it as a learning device? Do they see it as an entertainment device? What needs are being met by watching that? And I think that's going to go a long way toward helping us figure out what the sort of effects are on more of a nuanced level. But beyond that, in terms of sort of societal application, I would hope that if we can get research like this disseminated to sort of the general population, that people can take a step back and really think about what they're immersing themselves in. You know, it's no different than prior to TV, when people would immerse themselves in literature that was escapist literature, and sort of use that to kind of think about their lives. And now we have this pervasive thing where we spend so many hours of our life immersed in these alternate realities, basically, and we connect with the characters, and we have these emotional ties, and we get upset when things happen to them, and it's all not real. But yet it can have real impacts on us. And I think that we all need to become more savvy media consumers and to really think about those things. My hope is that in the future we can expand on trying to understand the specific effects that these things are having and the specific ways that people are interacting with TV. So beyond just belief, how are people using the media content, and really trying to kind of understand in specific terms, these kinds of people interact with these kinds of programs in these kinds of ways, which lead to these kinds of effects. Now that's a lot of stuff, and so there's a lot of things to tease out, but it is just the tip of a very large iceberg, and I think there's a lot of stuff under the surface of the water that we really need to explore and get into if we're going to understand this in any sort of a meaningful way.